Okay, hi guys. My name is Dippin. I'm here at Farmer Plus. Most of you probably know me. I hope you do anyway. Unfortunately, it's that time of year again, and as usual, the annual information governance declarations are required. And to be honest with you, the purpose of this video is to really just go over what you should already know anyway, what you've done in previous years and essentially to give you a little bit of information on what you can do to ensure that you are compliant with your information governance requirements. As with previous years, there's not much that's really changed this year. Uh, as you can actually see, pharmacies are expected here to attain level 2. By the way, this document's going to go out to everybody as well, so you can use this as you see fit. And and really, what you need to do, all of you have completed IG documentation in the past, and it's essentially the same sort of thing. You need to review what you've done, make sure it's still valid, and then submit your declaration, ensuring that the staff are also trained up on information governance. There are penalties as well for not doing this correctly, it can be quite severe. Um, I know this is easy for me to say this, but don't try not to look at this as simply a paperwork exercise. Try to really use this to improve your practice. Now, in this document, what I've done is that I've written out the next steps, what you need to do. If you're not too familiar with information governance, then what I would suggest do is you read uh, this. There is actually a link here. Okay, so I'll click on that. If you go to that, I'll just click on that. And what this is essentially a document that, if you look on the website, there we go. It is from the NHS, and if you're not quite sure what a particular requirement is, you can click on that link and you can view each one. I mean, as you can see, there are a good, I don't know, say 15 or so, 15, 16 of them, and each one of those you'll need to sign off. So if you're not quite sure what one does, you can click on the view button here. All right, and then you can sort of like just look at the description and ensure that you read it appropriately. Okay, so that's basically what that is. Then what you need to do is you need to understand how to use the toolkit online. Now, by that, what I mean is that you need to be able to. I'll show you this. Hold on, bear with me. There's a document that you can download, which I will go into, which is this one here. Now, this is actually from the PSNC website, and you can see it's the guide to using the information governance toolkit. And everything you need to know is in there, including all the links, including how you actually submit. And it's worthwhile getting to know this quite well. And again, if you get stuck, you can always give us a ring at the office and we can help you out with that. We do that all the time, so that's not a problem there. Now, the other thing is that you need to review your documentation. You need to make sure that it's still valid and it's still relevant to what you do. And if you're not quite sure, don't gasp here because there's quite a lot here. Um, oh, by the way, before I go into that, there is another link which I've put here. Again, I'll go into that there, which is the website that you use to submit your information. So once you've done that, you'll need these three bits of information, whatever that is. Um, you'll need your user ID, you'll need your password, and what you'll need is the organizational code as well. And that way, you can then quite easily um, get you can start on the, the the requirement process. Okay, so those are the three links I really wanted to go over with you. So once you've understood what each of the requirements mean, and once you've also understood the fact that you need to submit, by you can click one of those links there, then what you need to do is, if you haven't done it already, you'll need to download the templates. Now, what I've effectively done, and I'm not going to take credit for this because it's not necessarily my work, but I've plagiarized this from the PSNC. I've sort of like taken the information from their website and I put this in a document for you. And essentially, what you need to do is you need to go into requirement 14, having obviously understood what requirement 14 is by clicking on that appropriate link there. Download the appropriate documents and make sure that it's action. So, for example, requirement 115, which is there. What I would do, let's see what requirement 115 is. I'll go into that page. Okay, so requirement 115 here is, let's read it together. Pardon me. It says there is an information governance policy that addresses the overall requirements of information governance. Let's view this in a little bit more detail. There you click on that. What are you supposed to do? Right, it means that there is a need to ensure that everyone working for or on behalf of the organization, including temps, volunteers, is aware of the organization's overall approach to IG, and hence you've got the information governance policy. So then what you can do is you can look at the levels, and now really you need to attain level 2 at very least. I mean, I would probably consider now that you should really be thinking about going to level 3 as well. Although as far as I'm concerned, there isn't actually a requirement yet to do that. And what you'll do is if you go into that, you'll see, right, you need to have attained at least level 1. And you can read up and say what that is. Well, you need to have at least have reviewed your current policies, and you need to have at least signed off by a senior member of the organization. And also you would need to have it available to all members of your staff. And really, I mean, to be honest with you, you should really be going for a level 3 now. I mean, again, I think it's level 2 is the requirement at the moment, but you should really be thinking about this at least. And you should really now be thinking about ensuring that there are things like spot checks and routine monitoring. So as long as you've got all that and you've got the appropriate paperwork in place, what you could then do is click on the link here. Okay, I'm not going to go into this, but what in too much detail. But then what you would do is you would put in you would access your this with your own password, and then essentially sign off 115 for and basically say that you've achieved it. Okay, and you would do that for each and every one of those requirements. So you do that for 15, 116, 117, and all the templates. What we've done was we've sort of like literally copied that and put that into one document, so at least that way you can see what's going on. There really wasn't much point in reinventing the wheel here because the paperwork is already there. But the idea is to make your life easier by having it all in one place. So essentially that's what you need to do, and you need to remember this date here. This is the critical date, the 31st of March 2016. You need to have done this by that day. If you don't, there's a very good chance that that could trigger an inspection, and that's probably something you don't want. So bear that in mind. Okay, so make sure that you have submitted by that date at the very least. Okay, then I think that's all I really wanted to talk about. So hopefully you've got a very reasonable understanding of what you need to do. Most of you have already got this in place. Actually, I can almost guarantee you practically all of you have already got this in place because of previous years. In which case, what you just then need to do is review what you've done and make sure that it's still up to date. And as usual, if you need us, then you can always give us a shout. We're more than happy to help you out as well. So happy IG. I hope everything goes well with you. And as usual, if you need us, give us a shout. Take care now. Bye bye.